We gotta fix this. Okay, no, I'm sorry, that was a joke. Do not put bleach in your tank, please. Bleach should not be anywhere near a tank. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Secondhand Tank to Reef series. I have been away. I know I said I would get back to the weekly release, there was never a weekly release schedule at this point. So I ended up going away for Christmas. Went down south from me. And we were away for a week and a bit, and then Christmas came, and I decided no, we'll just let things go for a bit longer. And then I ended up getting sick on New Year's when I planned to do some more stuff. So I was sick for a week as well. It's just thrown everything off. But I am back now, and the tank, as you can see from the intro, is looking absolutely disgusting. But that's perfectly normal. And actually, what I'm really happy to see is that the rocks are not covered in the algae, but the sand and the bit of the back wall is. It means that the rock has a really good bio community, or like the bacteria are really, really good at fighting off this algae, and it's really healthy. So that rock is obviously is quite good. I am seeing some dinoflagellates as well, which I'm kind of good about, because it means that when we suck all this algae out, more than likely a lot of the nutrients, like the high phosphate, high nitrate, that would have come from the sand and the move of the tank, is now back to normal, or is now down to zero. So once we take the algae out, it'll deal with that, and we don't have to deal with too much in the way of nitrates and phosphates. So today we are going to do three things. One, clean the algae. It'll be super easy. Two, we're going to do the water change. They're kind of one and the same. And then three, we're going to add the coral and the last of the fish. They're ready to go in. I was going to do it before I went away, but then I decided I don't want to stress out fish before I go and then not see how they travel. But it'll be good to see them all in here, because I feel bad for the clowns. They don't have their friends, and I feel bad for the other fish as well. They're just sitting in a display tank, for like the store, but obviously they can't be sold. They're going to enjoy this tank a lot, I reckon, and after the coral comes in, I'll show you all the pieces that are going to go in. They're mostly going to be of one kind of coral. Now, I don't know why I'm hiding acans. This tank is going to be chock-a-block full of acans, if I can. I mean, acans are just so pretty. It's got so much color. It's not going to be too much in the way of movement in the tank, but I am going to add some torches and other things, other easy things. I don't want any SBS to be in this tank. As much as I love SBS, it hurts, don't worry. I do want to do GSP in here along the back wall. I've never done that, and you see some tanks with it and it looks amazing. So I think that is a good opportunity, and it'll keep nutrients down really well. Dosing we will set up in, I'll either set it up in my own time or in a later video. It's gonna take me maybe 5 minutes to set it up, so maybe I will do a short little video of it, but you guys let me know if you want to know how to set up a doser, but there's a million videos out there. What I'm going to teach you is going to be basically no different to everyone else. They're all tube to a bottle to a doser to another tube to a tank. That's basically it. Well, I think that's actually all the updates I have. Still got a bit of stuff in my throat, so please ignore that. Hopefully the sound quality and video image quality is a bit better in this episode, at least the sound quality. And then, yeah, let's get stuck into it. So basically what the tank is going through now is an ugly phase, and even though this was a pre-established tank, you're going to go through an ugly phase again, most cases, or some kind of instability, because you have changed the initial setup. It's no longer the tank it was. So in this case, we have different rock, we have different fish in there currently. There's going to be different bacteria, there's different algae now. So there's a lot of new stuff. The filtration and all that's the same. So it's not as bad of an ugly phase, and it will be easier to deal with, I'm sure. But this is just perfectly a normal part of a reef tank, and even though it's a bit ugly, coral should be just perfectly fine in this tank. Now, obviously, this here might be something that a few of you disagree with me on, and absolutely, there's no truly perfect right way to do something. But I don't believe in scrubbing rocks with a toothbrush or taking them out and hosing them down or anything like that when it comes to trying to get algae off the rocks. Generally, you want to try manual removal of siphoning it off the rocks, which, as you can see now, or you want to find some other means of taking up the rock, whether that be urchins, snails, tangs, any of your cleanup crew, or it's simply solve the issue causing the algae growth and adjust accordingly. All you're doing when you're scraping off the rock is what I mentioned before, talking about that biological community on there of all the bacteria and whatever ecosystem is built on the rock. Scrubbing it, you're definitely going to be damaging it. And I have had cases where a rock will be completely clean except for one little spot of algae. And I've taken a toothbrush and I've cleaned away a bit more than I should on that rock. And then over the next week, it has actually grown everywhere I scrubbed. So you get rid of a slime coat, that bacteria that's on the rock. Instead, gently siphon it off. Siphoning tends to do a lot less damage to that bio-community, and you're going to thank yourself later. So these mats of algae actually got so thick that they wouldn't be siphoned very easy. So I actually found it much easier just to do some manual removal and just pick up the whole mat and throw it in a separate container, and it actually made it really, really simple. Alright, well, that's all the fish in, some snails. I'm going to add a bit more cleanup crew when I can get some in. Convenient of having a shop right there. I can just walk into the garage, grab what I need and throw it in. So I threw in a few Astrea snails. Astreas are really, really good. I highly recommend them. Trocus are similar. In Australia, at least, I know other places have different species of both. But the Australian ones, Astreas are definitely slightly superior to the Trocus, but they're both just as good. I did throw in 2 turbos. I hope to get a lot more turbos. So turbos breed like, I would say breed like rabbits, but rabbits breed like turbo snails. So turbo snails will just like absolutely infiltrate this tank, and I'm hoping to have like tiny little babies everywhere, like hundreds of thousands of them. That's how my main tank runs, and there's like hardly any algae in that tank. If any. There's also giant tangs and stuff, so obviously. I do want to put a tang in here, but I got to get the right one. It's got to be nice and small, one that I will want eventually to move to my main display once it gets too big. So we'll see what comes into the store. But all of my friend's fish have been reintroduced, which is good. Particularly his hawkfish and firefish. I'll tell you now, if I lose those hawkfish and firefish, I will never live it down from him. They are his absolute, those 3 fish are his, like, he talked about them so much. So I'm really hoping that they go okay. And I'm glad to have them back in their original home. For the fish, I will now move to the coral. I'm just going to throw in a few pieces and I'll do some B-roll shots. And then we might just end the video there. But coming next week, hopefully, we will do an update of the tank, just how the coral's doing, how it's looking, how everything. Because at the moment, I'm not going to be able to show off the coral properly with all the silt and stuff in the water column. So next week's video will be an update on that. I'll show a few that I'll put in, and then we'll also do some testing next week, and I'll show you guys the what parameters to test, how to test them, what testing is the best, and you know, how to fix them if they're off. So well, I'll cut to the coral. So I've actually now just decided that I'm just going to throw in coral next week. I will throw in some coral now, and then I will update you in the next video. I can't show off the coral well enough in this water, so I want to. So I just decided I will update you guys on what coral I put in next week. So be sure to check in then. And I'm going to have them in there for from now until then, and we'll see how they go. And if they're going well, then I know that I succeeded at least somewhat. But same thing for next week. Update video, testing. I'll see you guys there.